The pandemic and the lockdown has given us enough extra time to invest in a skill that we've always been wanting to learn. One such skill that every musician has been wanting to learn at one point of time is music production. Maybe we couldn't because there were too many gigs, too many events when the world was open. But now that everything has become virtual, including live gigs, it has forced us musicians to invest in learning music production in order to be marketable and to stay in business. And to add to that, social media being such an important factor to put your talent out there and to network with other musicians and other producers, knowing music production will only help you take that game to the next level. You've decided to learn music production now, and when you look at a DAW or look at a curriculum from a music production school, it looks too intimidating at the first glance. This is because music production in itself is a very big and very vast field with so many different applications in media and entertainment industry. The DAW that you might have seen also has so many features to cater to different people in production to do different things. One has to choose specifically how they want to apply it to their specific needs. If you're a musician and if you're in that stage right now, I have a few pointers for you to make that whole process of learning music production a little easier. Hi and welcome to the Saccharide. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing, and while you're at it, do not forget to click on the bell icon. The Saccharide is a channel all about music, music production and music education. Let's move on without wasting any time. The first point, learning how to use an audio interface and DAW to record your instrument. This is very important. Say for example, I'm a producer and I want to hire you as a session musician. I'd prefer someone who knows how to record themselves rather than me having to hire a studio for them, hire an engineer to record their instrumental parts. Honestly, it saves a lot of time and money if you are someone who would do all of this stuff by yourself. Depending on your instrument, you need to research and learn how to use correct miking technique for your instrument. And you also need to learn how to set the right gain settings on your audio interface and how to place the mics at what part of your instrument to get the right sound for the right dynamic of your playing. This way, you would get the best signal possible out of your home studio setup. All you need is a basic audio interface that has good enough preamps and a basic microphone that can give you clean enough signal. Talking about the DAW, you don't even need to buy stuff. You can do this job even with the free stuff that is available out there. I'm not talking about piracy. Piracy is wrong. Do not pirate softwares. I'm talking about free stuff like GarageBand, Pro Tools First, Ableton Live Lite, etc. Do your research on these lines and I'm sure you will find so many lessons on miking techniques, so many videos on how to choose your audio interface and so many videos on right DAW for beginners. Moving on to the second point, learn how to edit your recording. Say now you've recorded all your instrument parts and there are so many takes, some of them are good, some are bad, and you cannot send all of them to the engineer or producer who has hired you because it could be quite tedious. This is where your editing skills will set you apart. Learn to use editing tools like scissor tool, fade tool, time stretch tool to select and edit the best part out of all of the takes. Rectify your mistakes and do little corrections here and there for all those errors that you might have done, and send a neat take. You know, they will really appreciate that, and whoever has hired you will consider that as a good gesture because you are saving somebody else's time. You will be more likely to get hired the next time. Third point, learn how to use simple audio units like equalizer, compressor, reverb, etc. Say after you've recorded and edited all of the parts, it is really nice to send a representation of your tone to the producer by cleaning up the recorded signal and tweaking the tone with a correct EQ setting. Probably using a compressor, you can further tweak your playing dynamics and add the right amount of reverb to put all of that things together and spice things up and make it sound nice. Even though you would be sending them raw or dry files without all of these effects, but it is nice to send them one version of a processed file so they can understand the kind of tonal preferences that you have. Last but not the least, invest in a simple home studio. All of the above points would never happen if you didn't have a home studio. Now you don't really have to buy state-of-the-art fancy equipment out there. You can do away with equipment that are well within your budget. The technology has come so ahead that even if you buy the budget equipment, they are still good enough compared to what you would find 5 or 8 years ago. So do your own research, think about things that you would need. You will never regret that investment. So after you've learned all of these basics of music production and say you've already started doing session work for different musicians and producers, this will definitely kindle an interest within you to learn more and more about production. Maybe you want to learn more about how to program instruments, more about how to synthesize your own sounds, how to mix and master. Well, you're in the correct place, because understand that you're already a musician and you already have working understanding of music, which is quintessential to be a music producer. In short, you are already halfway there, and all you need to do and learn are all the tech stuff, in my opinion, which are not all that hard compared to learning and investing in learning music in the first place. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope this video has helped you. If it has, then please give it a thumbs up. If you have anything to add to this, or if you have anything to ask, do leave it in the comment section. I will try my best to answer your query. Again, do not forget to subscribe and click on that bell icon. Until then, I will see you in the next one.